The guy's just standing there. Oh,
Why is it doing this?
huh?
Hey, just an idea like that. Just go touch some water. Maybe you're gonna make some wine. Gotta
That's
put that
true.
money, man.
Now it's vodka.
Now it's vodka. Oh, wow, it's even better.
It was vodka the whole time. Welcome, Team Talk number 2, back in the saddle. Yeah, Carl, you missed number 1. I'm sorry. I know you're looking confused, but
What is this? Mortal Kombat? We're having a reboot?
yeah, we're having
Yes.
a reboot for the last fucking time. I'm not, I can't even keep up with what day it is. So it's 1946, and I don't know where I am. I have dementia, and the lights are turning me into just like an unholy color right now. I don't know. It's just I can't fix it. I don't know what's going on. Beer earlier was he had the light of God to him, so it's just one of those kind of team talks.
There it is.
Speaking of stuff that you see, there we go. He can summon the power there, the will of the screen, exactly. But we're here talking about our ban list predictions. Ban list should be coming around the corner, and could be not. Maybe it's gonna be also not in English like most of the cards are this set, but we'll find out because we're gonna have about 10 pages of erratas for the new cards because English. But what we're gonna say here is a card we think is gonna be banned, and a card we want to be banned. Because I can't really think of any. I'm gonna start because it's 100% gonna get stolen. One I think is gonna be banned. Black Mass Sand. With the way the cell interaction, I'm assuming Black Mass Sand is gonna be hit. If not, that's gonna be hilarious, and it'll be probably emergency banned if it's not hit. Card I want banned. That's honestly a tough one. I don't know if I want anything straight up banned. I would prefer like an errata on fucking the GT, the SS4's leader. Like just something where they can only get their draw effect on their turn and not your opponent. Something to slow down the draw of that stupid deck. Because it doesn't matter what you got from the deck, it's still super consistent in drawing shit. So something to slow that down. And I'm saying make it purely offensive. You can only combo rest mode cards on your turn, or you can only get your draw effect on your turn. Those are my picks. Straight and simple. The deck's been around long enough. It can go to hell. Beer, what are you thinking? Someone else that has radiant glow on them.
So it's a very tough one because there's a lot of things I think should be touched, but I know there's the obvious ones. So I'm not going to say those ones, but something that I feel probably does get hit. Like I'm not going to say the obvious ones, but it's also a little tough to really decide because usually it's just the obvious one. But I feel like turning the tide might get hit too. Um, I feel like, yeah, like I know, like right this second, it may not be the most popular thing, but like the card has been problematic from the get go, and like now we're going to these strategies where decks are able to stall like 6, 7, 8 turns straight with all like the 16 floodgates they have now. You naturally people are going to start looking towards that card. Blue green decks will look into perfect force cells, so like it's gonna be a problem, and I feel like I feel like it's gonna get hit. I don't want it to get hit, but I feel like it's gonna get hit maybe. Um, but something I want to get hit, and I'm not saying ban it, is Riposte. Riposte needs to fuck off. That card needs to just go to a limit one. There's too much value with it right now. Yellow right now effectively has 4 Ripostes, 4 Vegetos, and if they want to run Nimbus and Forbidden Power, they can literally run 16 floodgates in a yellow deck. Just like, yeah, 4 Nimbus, 4 Forbidden, 4 of this, 4 of that, and it's like, what do you do, right? But the thing about like Riposte compared to like all the other like floodgates, right, is it costs 1 and is the 15k, right? It's not like Topo where you got to pay 2 and discard a card, or like the 21 card where you are paying for, like, yeah, sometimes you can play it for free, but you know what I mean. You're still it's still technically a 4 cost card, or like even the Gamma Flood. As annoying as it is, you still got to discard one, right? This is literally a 1 mana 15k. It sits on the board. It sticks there. It's a freeze army, so it's consistency for golden freeze as well. So it's a two-way hit. but also it's a 15k beat stick. So no matter what, view it as a hand control card because your opponent's never going to take that riposte away. They're always going to combo a card in hand. So you're always ripping at least one card in your opponent's hand for one energy. You're stopping their turn, and if they overcommit, you're just going to kill them on the crackback now because of this card, and it's just too much. It really is. Like Vegito goes away at the end of the turn, so you don't have to worry about it being a 15k beat stick. Nimbus has a downside of having a discard, right? Forbidden as well, whatever the fuck, who cares? But you get the idea. Like it's too much power, but I don't want it banned either because it is a top 16 card for regionals upcoming. It would feel bad to get a top 16 card that's banned. Like that's just shit.
We've already
Make it a
had
limit.
we've already had a couple that have been limit 1 when the Bergamo and King Piccolo are
Yeah.
both up there too, right? So
Yeah.
it's very possible. And yeah, another thing to that too with Nimbus and Forbidden Power, you can't combo them if you don't have the like energy for it. That Frieza
Yep.
worst case scenario still a 0-5k combo.
Exactly.
Like it's and now that Vegito's in the game and it kind of has more restrictions where you're saying it's going away at the end of the turn. Yeah, it has blocker and yeah, it doesn't floodgate the leader, but you already got your rest cards. Now you're doing both of them in the same turn. Like it's a little nuts to have
It's too
both of
much.
those cards. It's just like okay.
It's too much, man. Like I think I've said this before in previous team talk, but when you face certain decks, there's things you always have to think about when you're facing different colors, right? When you face red, what is the most that red can do on your turn, right? They can Gohan counterplay, they can Toke negate, they can imposing, they can V-Raise, but V-Raise got hit, right? Like that's usually about the gist of it, right? Maybe Topo, right? Like okay, they got maybe 4 or 5 things, maybe Gohan SGR, and certain decks have other little things, but overall, you're only really like having to think about like, okay, 4 or 5 things to play around. You face blue, it's like, okay, they got defending friends, they got baby's minion ready to rumble, Android 21 thing, SGR. Goku Black, like there's more things to worry about. Sensu Bean, Zeno Super Combo, like there's more things compared to Red, but it's around like maybe like 10 things you got to, which it's still a lot, but like it's fine, right? You face Yellow, you're like, all right, I gotta worry about Riposte, Vegito, Final Flash, Power of a Super Saiyan, Zamasu Super Combo, Gohan Piccolo. I gotta worry about what do you call it?
The cooler.
Counter. Like it just keeps going. There's always like something more. Nimbus, Forbidden Power, and those are like not even the popular ones, right? And then you just keep going and going and going. And there's always like at least like 15
So
things.
many answers.
There's too many things you have to Realm of Gods. Like there's so much you have to like worry about and think about compared to like every other color. And like obviously, yeah, yellow is balanced in the fact that like even though they have these really strong effects, yellow has terrible energy management in that you always have to leave like 1 or 2 open on your opponent's turn for these things. But it's the fact that like one of those things is enough to like end your turn, right? So you need to thin out that power just a bit. It needs to be weaned a bit. That's what I'm saying.
No.
Yeah.
See, I see. I don't know, man. Like that just to me, what you sound like when you say this stuff about yellow is what I sound like when I talk about red. And it's been
Red should get it too. I'm not saying it shouldn't.
No. And I'm not even talking about Red Sin, and I'm not talking about Red SS4. I'm talking about so as a yellow player, like playing red is frustrating as hell because everything I'm trying to play is a limit 1, which means when you say, "Oh, imposing presence, not that bad," or whatever floodgate or whatever counterplay you play, not that bad, and all these other colors, it's actually really crappy when you're playing yellow because I try to play the Majin Vegeta. Limit 1, you reduce it to 5 power, or you kill it. Or I play the 20k Goku. And so everything dies. Like, everything becomes unusable because even though I tapped 1 for it, it doesn't even enter play. You kill it as soon as it hits play or whatever. And I can't play another one. So I'm severely limited because, like you said, yellow needs energy to defend. So it's controlling because it's got to. And I'm not saying it doesn't need to be hit. I just don't think it's like, yeah, there's tools out there, but it's kind of like I've got a pipe wrench in my toolbox at home. I never use it. So is it a tool that matters to my household? It's the same. That's the same thing with Forbidden Power and Nimbus. They don't get used that much to really be like, that's a tool we should consider with how we view Frieza.
Okay, so then what would you do then to tone down yellow? Because yellow is problematic.
I don't know that it is right now. It's not. It's like yes, Majin Vegeta is taking a bunch of stuff around the world, but it's topping. But it's not like we're sitting there seeing it's a top 16 with 9 yellow decks. You know what I'm saying? Like it's legitimately 1 or 2 yellow decks. So I don't think it's as overpowered. I just think it's deck selection, honestly. Because if more people chose Cooler Mill, oh my God, yellow would fold.
I
Yellow
mean, yeah, I could
folds
also
the Cooler Mill.
yeah.
You know
Oh,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, and with the new set, it gets a new toy. So there's like if people made, like, for example, beer in the G3 last season's top 8 tournament, you went with Cooler Mill because you predicted a lot of Trunks Vegeta, which was weird with 8 people, but you ended up facing 2 yellows, and those were cakewalk. Like, legitimately, your non-yellow matchup was your only tough-ish matchup. Everything else was cakewalk. So if yellow is this big boogeyman, then you go with a thing that stomps it down and you make people not want to play it. But it's not. I don't think it's overpowered. I don't think it's overpowered to the level that's like SS4. So go kind of circling back to that. I don't think SS4 in and of itself is too overpowered. I can't remember the last time I was playing against an SS4 a deck, and they actually brought out the 8-drop, the Gogeta. Like what kills it for me is the massive draw power that it has.
That's the
Means
issue.
it gets all of the toys that aren't archetype specific. It gets their Broly crowns. It gets, so if you try to save some energy for defense, they're gonna bite you. It gets their freaking imposing presences. It gets their topos. It gets their Wolfang fists. It gets their Yamchas. All these things that just say, oh, yeah. And it gets all those, and then you throw Gohan in there. The fact that it can play that swing and then combo it off to play another one because it's not limit 1, that's something that needs to be hit. I honestly think Demon needs to be freaking hit to limit 1 because, or if they don't, it doesn't function well in that deck because without limit 1 because of that deck. But outside of that, it's not a big deal, I don't think. So it's just like.
Yeah.
I think it's the off art type things, and unfortunately, like the point where we are with both of these colors, I think is the only way to make it more restrictive is to make even more leader locked. But then you get to the point where people are like, I don't even have to build decks anymore. I can only play these cards if I choose this leader.
That's very true. That was
It's
what
a
I
tough
was going off with SS4 because that's the thing, consistency. It draws so much, and that's why like these cards in yellow that you're talking about, they seem more of a problem because of how consistent yellow is. That are getting cards, and they're just like, okay, they've got 5 of these in their hand. Like, how the hell does he have this every time? And that's when these cards feel a lot worse because they're inconsistent decks. And that's what have always made yellow decks good, was how consistent the deck can be. And that, is it a good yellow deck or a bad? Does it draw a lot? Okay, then there we go.
Yeah.
We go and see what we can fiddle with, because yellow, we have these good cards, and we shove them into this deck, and then we go whatever archetype cards around it. And that's basically...
Like, I want to make it clear. I don't want to say like SS4 and all that because I know other people
of
want to talk
course.
about that. It's like I just feel Riposte does need to be thinned out, but like because they still have tools, right? But I also am not saying only hit yellow, right? Like other stuff there's a lot that needs to be touched. There is a lot of problems that need to be looked at. Because I do agree with you, Brian. Like, yeah, people can just easily pick Cooler Mill and just dumpster yellow. Like, I did it myself. I did it in a regional. I did it in that the G3 tournament, right? But it's like, you also don't want to be in this weird position where the only viable, like, strategy to beat something is something toxic like Mill. Like, that shouldn't be the only consistent solution to dealing with like a specific color as well. You know what I mean? You don't want to be in that situation as well at the same time, because that causes a lot of like, I don't even know what the word is. It's toxic is the way I want to say it.
I don't think it was the mill strategy that does it. I think it's the toys
Ignoring
that
barrier.
Cooler Mill utilizes, the red blue stuff that ignores
Yeah.
barrier. That's the toys. But I mean, at the same time, I agree with you. Like, I think a limit 1 on Riposte would actually be balanced, considering Vegito exists. Vegito is essentially the same thing except leader versus unison.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And what's funny is like Vegito is actually the better option because most decks can only swing once with their leader. Whereas with Riposte, you can have a unison out, swing with it, have one that has triple attack, swing with it a few times. You can play another one, and so it's not as impact. It can be not as impactful in a matchup. So like limiting it to one, I think is a solid. It is not a bad idea. I don't think it's because of the other floodgates Yellow has. I think it's just because it and Vegito are too freaking similar that they don't need to exist in the same deck.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying though, right? Like I'm saying, yellow decks are running like basically a 4/4 of each, and if they want to, they can go super degenerate if they wanted. Like it doesn't take much, right? Like at most, people smash in like one or two Nimbus as well to add on to already what you have, and you already have like the 3 negate cooler, like the negate attack. You know what I'm talking about? Like all that other stuff too, right? It's just like as a complete package, it's too much, and that's the easiest thing to hit among that package that like makes sense, right? And it, like I said earlier too, it's probably the most efficient of those floodgate battle cards in the game because you're not discarding a card in hand to play a 15k on board that's floodgating your opponent, and it's going to pressure your opponent on their turn. And in golden, it's not only that, it's also a target for the activate mana.
After the swing.
It's a draw and untap 2 now as well. So it's just insane value compared to like in other decks. But that's whatever. That's golden going super efficient.
Well, I'm saying that's the funny thing with golden too is it can play that, and if it's facing yellow, and then it has someone play the riposte on their turn, they're just like, okay, I got 6 Gohan swings, I can just go down instead. So let's have fun with that.
Yeah. But that's my picks.
Hey, I would like. I just got back from traveling. So I'd like to throw mine out there because I have a spicy one too.
Let's hit it. Let's hear it.
All right. So what I think will be hit, the Android 14, I think it is Floodgate from Gamma. I think that needs to be limited at best, if not banned all out because it has so many floodgates. And what I would want to see touched, I want the Android 21 secret rare to be touched so they can only be played in Android 21 decks.
You see, look, he was getting pissed. He was getting pissed. He's like, whoa.
Well, I was getting tight for a hot minute. But I'm good for that. Let's go.
Like, because you put that into, like, that's where Gamma actually has the strength right now. Like, Gamma has an insanely good matchup against everything except for Android 21. And because it could utilize its own, the cards, obviously. But, like, Gamma into everything else with all of its massive floodgates, with its completely, let me tap out and then untap 3 every freaking turn. And oh yeah, by the way, give me a secret rare that says you got me down to 4/3 life. I'm just gonna grab 2 back. Like that's it's way too, like, it just builds the wall back up and then continues to floodgate you after that too. I think like limiting it to only being played in Android 21 decks is the like all the different Android 21 leaders out there. There's 3 of them. They can have fun with her. Have all the fun they want with her.
Make it also Android 18 as well. Because it's from Fighter Z, Android 18 leaders as well. The blue ones. But yeah, I agree.
Something that doesn't let it be played in Gamma. It can be played in a deck with SH. I don't care. But yeah, it's just like, because Gamma is the blue. Gamma and Android 21 are the blue King of the Hills for their color, and I don't think Android 21 has shown the result that in and of itself. Any version of the deck haven't shown any true dominance in any of the events. It's 1/1, and it's topped everyone since it came out. But it hasn't just been like, oh look, there's again 6, 8 of them, whatever, in the top cut. So it's like, I think it needs room to breathe. And as long as, and so like if you take the secret rare from 21 away from Gamma, then I think it puts 21 as the primary blue choice, and it gives us something fresher, being it's just this last set.
Also, the biggest issue, I personally think as a 21 player, the reason why it hasn't been topping is because it has a insanely hard matchup, at least in my opinion. Apparently, some people say it's free for Android 21, which I personally don't see it. But for me, it's insanely hard against SS4 and Sin and other hard aggro decks like that because of the insane amount of pressure. It's like if you don't see the 21 secret rare early on to get the extra life or the extra 2 life, it's like you just flat out lose. Like regardless of how many 17 negates, or I started teching in the Android 19 from Gamma in at 2, and I recently took out the one drop Android 21s, the mandatory gatherings, the ones that summon the tokens. I was running them at 2 of, and I completely took them out of the deck. I substituted those for 2 more copies of the fat Android and 19s to run 4 copies of those and 17s, just because of how bad you lose at early aggro, and you can't activate any type of extra card. And you really want to get that take life, search top 5 effect off probably twice a game on average on your unawakened side, just to help you dig a little bit more for your check lands in case you break, or for your floodgates if you really need them, especially on like turn 1. If you don't show up with a battle card negate, you want to use that effect for an early battle card negate against those heavy aggro decks. So like last regional, for instance, the one last month, round 1, round 3, round 4, and round 6, I played against SS4. And round 1, round 4, I saw 5 out of 8 negates out of my deck, and I still lost. And those are like I'm talking like battle card negates. Like I saw 3 out of the 4 Android 17s. I saw both Android 19s, and I saw 2 D magics, and I had to use Dirty Burst as a negate, and I still lost. Like I was able to Kusu the like 2 or 3 of the 4 drops that he was able to play. Like I controlled the whole entire game, and I still ended up losing. Like by the time the thing, like for me, it just, no matter what I drew into, no matter how I played it, it just, there was no way for me to win the game. So that's based off of my personal hatred for that deck. It's going to lead me into my ban list choice of what I want banned. So I personally want that deck hit. How I think it should be hit is the draw power of the deck. No matter how hard I tried, there is no way in hell I could get that deck's hand count down below. I think the lowest I got was like 5, and that was negating every single leader swing. I went first, so their turn 1 they swung, I negated. Went second, left 2 open, negated again. Didn't play anything. All I did was search. My turn 3, did nothing. They went their turn, negated, did nothing. Eventually, I had to start chipping away. Eventually, they started being able to combo. So, like, turn 4, they were able to finally combo. And then they're just like, oh, 15 cards in hand. I'm like, oh, how do you have 15 cards in hand? I negated you the last 5 turns. How do you somehow have 15 cards in hand? You've charged energy every single turn.
It'll find a way.
I don't understand it. Like I whatever, dude. Like, yeah, you got it, bro. Have at it. So like, you can only do so much. So like, there needs to be some way to mitigate the draw power of the deck, whether it's the searching or drawing that it does, or the comboing from the field, like in rest mode, like limiting that to like a once per turn type effect where it's not always an active thing. Like, okay, I can combo with something in rest mode once per turn on offense and defense, like once per turn, or only do it defensively, or only do it offensively because it's an aggro deck. It's red. Only allow them to do it offensively. That's fine.
That's why I say offensively, right?
Right.
That's
I think it offensively, right?
pairs with what the
I
deck's
actually
supposed to do.
think to add it is the leader can only do it offensively, And then the cards that it plays for one, where it's like play it, draw one. When you combo with it, draw one. That should be a limit once per turn where they only get one draw off of it.
100%.
They
I
shouldn't
completely
be
agree.
getting two off of it just because they played it.
Yeah, I agree to that. I should be like play it, rest it, and then if you combo with it, draw. That's how it should be. That's how it should be worded.
And when it's comboed, go to warp.
Just gone. Move from
Yeah,
the
if
game. See
you
you
when
now.
it's comboed, remove it from the game or some stupid shit like that.
Trying to
like,
slow
so you
down
can't-
their Z charges too.
Yeah, hell yeah, fuck that deck, dude. Ban the whole deck out, right? Ban the leader.
I was gonna say it just seems easier just to ban the deck at that point.
Yeah, just burn it. Actually, have Bandai recall all the cards because they're actually worded wrong, like mass recall, and then burn it.
This
So
card
I
can
think
negate it.
I think the issue with it too, that's not even just what it is now. It's the fact that as long as those two decks exist, why would you play any other red deck?
Exactly.
That's the
Like
problem.
I bought Sin from you. Like I bought like 90% of the. I have the like half the core, if not like 90% of the red Sin core sitting here, waiting for the rest of the stuff. But now I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, there's no reason why someone's gonna play this next set Goku deck or the next set Garlic deck if these two decks are existing. Like, Prior, you play any? Prior, you play like shenanigans, dude. Like you play whatever the fuck you want,
I'm
and you
with you,
top
Peter.
you top regionals playing shenanigans. Like it does. Like you don't care.
Prison.
Yeah. Like,
I'll do it. Fuck it, I'll do prison.
so like and personally, like regardless of the draw, I also don't think that the Z leader makes any sense. Like
100K.
like three Z energy in a deck that combos and draws 1,500 cards, and like somehow your deck doesn't deck out. Like you have a book in your hand, your deck doesn't deck out. You have 90 fucking Z energy, and now you can go all balls to the wall, tap out, have 25 cards in your hand, and then you're just like, oh wait, you're swinging for game because we're in time? Oh, okay. Z Awaken, I'm at 100K. Yeah, you thought you were going to win in time. Because that's exactly how I didn't win in time. I was pushing for game in time in the last regional, and I lost in time, in overtime, because the guy Z Awakened just said, oh, you can't beat me because I'm at 100K, and you only comboed to 65 with my one card in hand.
No, it's stupid.
Like-
Maybe, I know it's limit 1 already. Maybe you can only do it offensively, so you have to already be tapped out going into your defending turn. Not, okay, I'm comboing for game here. I'm at 75K, and then you're
But it
just like...
stays. But it stays. the
It'll
thing
stay
is-
Yeah, but it's
regardless,
just-
but at least you'll know
Yeah,
about it.
but
That's what
like-
I'm saying. I don't know
Yeah.
how you change that besides just getting rid of it. With
So here's the other thing too. Like that Z leader, they're like the way I view it. Like you saw that, Charles. Like I literally rebuilt it the other day just for the lulz
Yeah,
to help.
well, yeah, you built it to help me test against it.
Yeah, to help you test and all that, right? Like, I'm not even using it for defense. I'm looking at viewing it as like, okay, my opponent is basically playing with 7 life, not with 8. Because if you're at 1 life and my leader spin goes through, you're dead. I will dump my whole hand and go to 100K plus whatever's in my combo area because I combo first, then do the
Yep,
Z Awaken.
which is stupid
Go to
too.
200K. What are you gonna do? You legitimately lose. There's no deck in the game that can beat 200K swing, and there's nothing in the game that can interact with my leader like that. There's nothing. What do? You just scoop,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
That I don't know. There's a lot to like hate. There's definitely a lot to like hate and a lot to like hit on that deck. But like, surprisingly, nobody's talked about Sin. But I'll leave
Well,
that for
we're
somebody
not
else.
done yet.
Like you
Yeah.
talking about Red Sin?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's the same thing. It's I think it falls in the same boat as SS4. It spawns out too much power too quick. It's a nasty hand, and insanely like it gets those same stupid cards online early.
I don't think you should be able to play Gohan.
Yeah, and it's got Gohan now.
Yeah,
it's
got
That's what
Gohan
I'm saying.
and-
Like, go literally, it can just be like, I'm gonna turn my leader sideways, leave up this 1 energy. I put 3 cracked balls over there. From turn 1 on, Gohan's live.
Cool.
And then not only that, rush attacks at full power on turn 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I've been digging through TCG player or not TCG player. I start TCG player here. Deck Planet for like just like overall cards, and I'm like sitting here just scrolling through stuff, and I'm kind of like just mentally thinking about like next set and what I think could be hit potentially of like what people have mentioned, and try not to like overlap on anything or something like that. We talked about Black Messian, and then we mentioned
Riposte, Turning the Tide,
Propose, Turning the Tide.
SS4 a lot.
Yeah.
21 SCR, the Gamma Floodgate card.
Title
So
of
I
this video should
personally
just be
think
"Fuck
if
SS4." That should just be.
if I think just a caveat
like
on what
mine.
Brian said, I think if we leader lock the secret rare for 21 and the floodgate for 21 to 21 leaders, I don't think the floodgate for Gamma needs to get hit.
And 18. It's they're both the same thing.
You know what I mean? Like, I think if we lock those two to the decks, I don't think the Gamma needs to get hit. But I mean, regardless, like Gamma's a little ignorant with those two. How
Gamma's
to-
been around too
how to-
long.
Yeah, it's
Like
also
Trunks
been
Jita.
around too long. Trunks Jita too. That's another one I haven't heard, but get it put out in
Trunks-
the back, shotgun to the head, finish it quick.
with 21 existing right now, set 2021. Obviously not the expert deck one. We're talking about the most
Expert.
recent Android 21. With her existing, using with the floodgate being able to remove barrier, with the 8-drop removing barrier, with the secret rare removing barrier. To me, it feels like how Briar feels when he plays Cooler Mill against Trunks Jita. Every time I see Trunks Jita across the screen from me when I'm playing 21, to me it feels like a free matchup.
I don't
Like,
think you understand how I feel when I face
Like-
Trunks Jita, okay?
Like
the
I
hate I
played
have.
against Trunks Jita round 2, and it was just like
Yeah, but I mean, Charles,
floodgate, remove your 3-drop.
you
you're
hit
playing
you hit the nuts, and you can't base it because I hit the nuts one time and it worked out really well.
No. The story I told you wasn't in the regional. The story I told you was just in like one of the weekly events. That wasn't in the regional.
Gotcha.
No, I'm just
Gio,
saying because like, huh?
I was saying, Gio, what do you think? You've been playing Trunks Jita recently. What do you think, buddy?
Yeah, so Trunks Jita, I think it was it was like a reboot. It was like a better version of the what was it called? That yellow one. Remember that you always used to play the skillless cards?
Icarus.
Yeah, Icarus.
Icarus, yep. So, but it's good, but honestly, like you said, it can't compete against SS4. It kind of struggles against Shin. And then, like, for earlier stuff that what you guys were saying, I don't kind of agree with the Mecha Frieza, because Yellow already is struggling, kind of, right? And especially if you take out Mecha Frieza, like, Vegito's good, right? But what are you going to do early game against all that pressure? You need Mecha Frieza, to, like, for early game.
You put Nimbus
and then,
down. Cheers.
yeah, I guess Nimbus, but that's like a worse one, you know what I'm saying? Just because you got a pitch and then you don't get a swinger.
Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but most yellow decks aren't even running drives. What yellow decks are running drives?
Kid Goku, baby.
Kid
Kid
And
fucking
then I
Deep
play
Koo.
SS4 a lot, and SS4, yeah, like I think maybe for the defensive wise, like the combo power should be gone. But yeah, offensive you need it, right? Because I think you said the Goku especially and the Vegeta, you combo them to give your leader double strike or crit, so you wouldn't be able to not be able to combo them in rest mode. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
they have to
those
be
ones are
comboed
fine.
from the field. Yeah. But yeah, and then we agree here at the house, me and Alex, the SS4 probably needs to be limited because it's so nasty. It's permanent goes past Vegito's permanent. Like that's insane. You know how Vegito says you can only take strike one, like you don't take strike keywords. Yeah, like Gogeta's such a god that his permanent cancels your permanent. Like it's insane. So, but yeah, and then if I had to say which deck has the best defense, definitely blue. Android 17, Flood Negate. It's got no one really plays it too much anymore, but the Vegeta that for 4 you have to pitch an energy, and it has the 3-drop
He's
Gohan,
minion.
right? Yeah, and then of course, if you're playing Gamma, you got the other blue topo. Like Android 21 and Gamma are so good just because they have infinite defense. It feels like you literally cannot play your deck.
Gone downhill.
Yeah, well, Android 21 went downhill just because now everyone knows how to counter it. Every color has a way to stop the 2-drop Z battle card. You know, Gallic Cannon for red, or Gohan if you're playing Shin, because Shin, remember, as long as you open like one Dragon Ball opening hand, you can counterplay them as soon as they drop the 2-drop. Then yellow, they have the counterplay, right? That says that anything 3 or less, the skills are negated, I think.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, and then of course blue has the desperate measures. Like every color has a way to stop that 2-drop Z battle card. So I feel like that's the biggest reason no one's
not
playing
black.
Android 21.
black does not turn one.
Black has nothing.
Yeah,
Shut fuck.
well, black and green are currently struggling the most, but we'll see. Literally, next set obviously Gohan if everyone here's excited for it.
Oh,
Green's
baby,
comeback,
yeah.
baby. Green rush.
So you said what you feel. You both feel that the Gogeta H should be limited to 1. So what do you think is gonna get hit?
Honestly, Gogeta got first place the last 2 regionals, right? Like that's usually what they do. The decks that win consistently like that, even if Gogeta doesn't win, he usually tops, right? So
Yeah.
that's the whole reason the blue Goku got hit, because it was always getting first, it was always topping, you know. So that's definitely something's gonna be on the chopping board. I don't know if they're gonna hit their draw engine. I mean, no one really runs it anymore, but like Lord Slug has a great answer. Like once you get Lord Slug out, their whole draw engine's turned off. The Unison doesn't draw, the battle cards don't draw. It literally turns off the whole deck. But that's only for yellow. So like green, yeah, like every other color doesn't really have that answer.
Yeah.
But now Black Smoke exists too, so Slug have an answer for it too.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's not a perfect world, but if they don't open the black slug, and who knows, I doubt like if they sit across a yellow deck, they're like, let me like they're probably mainboarding too, but I doubt they up it or they put in what's that other red card that for 2 red you can ignore and barrier minus.
Kaioken.
Yeah,
Concentrated destruction.
yeah, because most yellow decks aren't running it.
Honestly, in a best of 3, I would side in Kaioken going into my game too. If we're doing a best of 3, I'm facing yellow. 10,000,000% I side in 2 Kaiokens if I'm facing yellow because I
You're
expect
you're talking about like worlds matchups, right? Like if we're talking
Yeah.
regionals, it's best of 1 pre-side.
best
you know,
of 1
so
pre.
you're
Yeah.
not gonna
So
you're
you
not
don't
gonna
know.
get that advantage.
Yeah.
No, fair enough.
Okay.
Well, last
What
but
about you,
certainly
Carl?
not least, Carl.
Me.
Let's
Um,
hear it.
Well, the card that I think in the same kind of way of thinking as BMS is Kotukai.
Hmm.
Because like if you play it well, you can like cycle your hand and still have the same kind of effect of punishing your opponent of playing the tokens on the cell deck coming up right now. And like that's the only card that I think would maybe get it, or maybe is going to be abused in that kind of strategy. But that's the only thing I see.
Very
And
frustrated
my
right
personal.
now. No, nothing. Sorry.
Oh, that's good. And one of the cards that I want to get like laid off as soon as possible is that the slug package, which locks any kind of draw of any kind of deck. I think a card like that should not still be existing right now. It shut down so many like decks or that could maybe compete or just be able to survive. Like, okay, I'm talking about Xenosin mostly, but like there's a lot of other decks out there that like just denying their draw power just like fucked up the whole game, and you cannot even play the game. You have no chance of
Well, there's some cards that can't be played if they don't draw.
Here's a
Like,
deck
if you
that
can't
can't
draw.
play a fucking thing if there's a slug out. You can't do shit. It is fucking
Not gonna be able to-
miserable playing
True.
Green Gogeta. I know it's not a good deck, but
Yeah, literally, SS4 can't even play
It's
because
literally-
the cost to play the card is to draw one.
Fusion decks overall just
Fusion
get neutered
decks.
because of that card.
Almost every fusion
actually-
deck's now a draw one for its X Evolve. Or sorry,
So I just got
Junior
a
Fusion.
brainwave. Here's how you fix that whole issue with the BMS and Koitsukai. You don't need to ban them. You just put an errata to the cell leader saying you cannot include black cards in your deck. You do that, that's it. You can't play Code Sky and BMS in the deck. Now you don't have to worry about the Ginger Town issue. You fixed it. You don't have to ban anything. You just add that to the leader on both sides, and or just on the front side, and now they can't put it in the deck. Therefore, you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Or you're rotted either of those cards to not hit tokens.
No, it should hit tokens because like how it's designed.
I agree. I'm just saying that is also another option.
Yeah, you
But
know
just
what? I want
rot
to
it
play
later.
Token Toa with this new shit, so you know what? Get rid of it. Let's not talk about it anymore. It's gone. Yeah, never coming back. Perfect.
I'm good for that because then you can't use it against my Android 17 negates.
Fuck it. I want it back.
Bro,
No.
this ban list is just gonna make Android 21 that much better. I can already tell. I'm gonna fucking plus so hard off this ban list.
You know what? What if they just go full 360? Like, we just ban the last set. Just say, fuck it. Android 21 doesn't exist. These
I already got
SCRs
my
don't
next deck
exist.
lined up. Oh, this is glare
Part of
from
last
hell.
set. Gone too. See you later.
Modest Vegeta.
Yep, already got
Would
the
you-
deck lined up.
What card do you want unbanned from the ban list?
No,
Unbanned?
Ooh, unbanned.
Plan,
V-Rays,
plot for destruction,
V-Rays.
whatever the fuck it's called. Plan, plot. The Zamasu card. That's the one.
Bro, plan from
Plan
for
fucking
destruction.
devastation, bro.
Give me that.
Yeah, that Zeno combo.
Yo.
12
Give me
energy.
Give me that.
Yo, give me that card back and watch me have 7 energy turn 2.
That's what I want,
I
baby.
want I want minus kills on back.
That would be snazzy.
Yeah,
dude.
that's a little ridiculous.
That would be fucking snazzy.
Only stop counter plays.
Unhit
It's
V-Rays.
half the game. V-Rays?
We don't.
V-Rays.
I think that
I can
black
see them
should.
hitting. I can see them changing V-Rays to 20 and 25. 20k unisons, 25k battle cards.
The only thing I would want though on minus kills on lock it to black because we have no interruption ever. So if it's only
Yeah.
locked to black, I think would be fine. We don't have any counterplay. We're struggling going through barrier and shit. Like at least give something to black.
You know
Yeah,
what?
I can see that.
If it's locked to black, yeah, black's in a spot right now where it's just like, you know what?
If they do that, Carl, you're gonna need to invest your own money into buying me black cards.
Unhit Soul Strike.
Unhit Soul Striker.
Get this guy out of here. I don't want to fucking hear this fucking shit. This
Bring
unhit
back-
Soul
oh,
Bring
Striker.
back SS3.
Soul Striker's still alive. People are still playing this fucking deck with Beast Go on. Now you're telling me you're awakened turn 3 and then you're gonna fucking hit me. Fuck that.
Yes, of
Okay.
course I want everything.
that.
What are you talking
And
about?
if we go in the fantasy world and they reboot the whole ban list,
Yeah, just give me
Like,
fucking
they'll
SS2
start back to
Gohan.
0.
Give me the fucking reboot. I'll put the Z leader on it too for fun. Let's just go nuts.
Shugesh back. Shugesh will be
Alright.
sick.
Okay, that's scary.
Okay, real talk. Card that I want off the ban list. You ready?
Let's hear it.
Objection.
BT8 number BT8 number 122. Android 21 Violent Predator.
Okay.
Get the fuck out of here. You know
No,
what? Just for
bro,
saying that.
I'm nuking your board. You ain't got shit
Someone
reset the
mute
game.
him.
Yeah,
Mute him and don't let him talk again.
yeah.
No,
okay.
bro, no.
Fuck that. Just for saying that, we're banning the new 8-drop too. I'm calling the super
okay.
players. They're gonna get that done.
But okay, what do we do to fix it then? To be able to bring it back?
You can't fix it.
You can't fix it. Its whole identity was it exists for the sole purpose to make you play multicolored decks. That's what its purpose was.
And now it gets
and
played
it's-
even
and it-
cheaper.
And it gets screwed. And it says
Yeah,
screws
yeah,
monocolored decks. There's nothing you can. That was its whole thing. Blow up all of your monocolored energy. You can't fix that.
Unhit Piccolo Surge.
That one, you know what? That one I'm more okay with than Soul Striker.
Unhit Piccolo Surge.
Oh my god.
You're like
That'll be too good.
fucking wild.
Oh my god.
You
Give me
might as-
objection.
Might as well say
And-
Unhit Child's Witcher Gogeta 7 at this point then.
Okay, no.
Give me objection and Planet Devastation.
Yeah, Planet
That's it.
Devastation, and you know
Both,
what? Child's
both.
Wish, I'm down. You know what? Child's Wish decks have been You give them something. Let me play a goofy. That's what I loved about Child's Wishes. You could just use really old dog shit cards
Mhm.
like Secret Evolution Cooler, and then play the 7-drop out on turn 3, and you're like, wow, this feels hilarious. And now you could do that even with fucking Golden Cooler. Like, come on, this would be sick.
I want Zeno button.
I think
Blue already is
like,
Zeno button.
Oh, never mind. Sorry. I was gonna say one of the cards I loved was the Child's Wish of green, but it only worked in a green wish. Like they should have made it only work in a green wish leader, and I think that's like, and you can only bring out a green card with it. Like I thought that was just a product of getting hit. Like it got hit because of Child's Wish, but give me that back.
The Purunga card, right?
No, it was it had like they had Piccolo or Namekian. It let you play like you literally
for
just
Salvation, I think it's called.
yeah, Plead for Salvation. That was it.
Yeah. Yeah, that card lasted for a whole 5 minutes. I literally completely erased that one from my memory.
How the fuck did I remember? I wasn't even around for that format.
That's what happens when you have fucking 40 decks and you just have cards falling out of them. You're just like, this one's
You're
going
not
in there.
wrong.
Any other
Did I-
final unban prediction? Not predictions, just wish list, because, unbanning, it's few and far between. We got Secret ID and
That's not even showing up on the ban
Secret
list.
ID.
Thing.
The plea? Yeah, I don't remember this card getting banned, but maybe it did.
I think Champa and Shin, the double strikers, was a mistake. I'm
I
just saying.
don't. I don't.
Wait, why
'cause
do you
now
think
I
it's a
don't-
mistake? No, let's hear this.
For Great Priest, that's the only thing.
Great,
only
okay,
reason.
okay, I was going to say, because you have Kraken Space Time for your Black Saiyan decks. You should be happy that other people
Honestly,
don't have
that's
the
what
shotguns.
I like that better. Like having Kraken Space Time and having the Dr. Giro or Android 20 that's like for androids. I
Mhm.
think that's a much better version of it where it's archetype or leader specific.
Yeah.
Or color specific kind of thing. Like that's I like archetype better because it's not like every green deck can play
Yeah.
the Giro one, but every freaking and not every black deck can play the Kraken Space. It has to be a Saiyan one.
Saying, yeah.
It's true, because that's another thing too with like weaker decks. Like, even I know this is one that doesn't matter, but the Piccolo, what was it, the yellow Piccolo with the absorbent stuff, and then it has that extra card that can also double up as a Champa.
Yeah.
Now that's more important. Where it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, this shitty deck, at least I have to be worried about him shotgunning his leader. I know before it's any deck, they're swinging with their leader, I'm at 2 life. I just got to assume they have their double strike in hand. Now it's
Yeah.
these specific archetype cards where it's just like, oh fuck, I forgot this deck had that, and then you get rocked.
Yeah. Exactly. Now I can knowingly not get rocked at 2 life if someone's swinging at me with like a 50k. Be like, "Ah!"
Mhm.
Are they playing blue green and have Bad Omen? No. Are they playing blue and have Beast go on? No. All right. Red
Are they
Vegeta
playing
Secret Rare?
green?
No. Green Cell Max? No. Okay.
Would have just been fun, like feeling in Great Priest, just combo your Champa F0 and get double striker.
Great Priest was dead on arrival because they made the leader too weak.
I know that.
The Z leader
Yeah.
be coming, Carl. Don't worry. 5 more sets. You almost have a complete deck.
50.
I don't know, man. I don't know if y'all ever played against it when Wang Po from Asia built one. Oh my god. You talk about like he built it to swing at you for crits and to draw like on par with SS4. Like it was disgusting to be like playing. I played him in a best of 1 and he's like at one point in time I think he had 16 cards in hand. Because at some point, because everything was offering, and at some point you can only you can only crit so many life before you're just like, yeah, go ahead and keep drawing, keep drawing, keep drawing.
You're
Yeah,
just
I always
like,
let
how
them
do
draw.
I do
always
this?
let them draw.
Yeah.
Like that's all he did was play. Like it was literally every turn he'd play out 1 or 2 offering, and it was like, oh my gosh, stop.
Yeah, you can easily build it that way.
That's true. You got,
Yeah,
because
that-
now you got the Beerus
Surprise
too.
factor is a real thing. That's what happened with that Surge Broly. Like you could do really well in regionals just off surprise factor. People don't know what your deck's doing. They don't know how it's playing. And Brar said it good. Like if you really know your matchups, like, that's the thing with those decks. The anti meta, you really gotta like run all.
You gotta
the
do your
different-
reps.
You got to get reps. Yeah, because it's not like SS4. Like SS4, you know what you're doing turn 1, 2, 3, and 4. You know, so now if you're playing a deck like Surge Broly or Cool or Mill, your turn 1, 2, 3, 4 doesn't look the same. It's gonna be different every game. You know, you're gonna have to try and counter your opponent and what they're doing. You know.
No, it's
Yeah,
very
You're
true.
right. Yeah, with
Pretty-
like cooler mill, there's games where you're going to be hyper aggro. There's games where you're going to be super defensive. There's games where you're going to try to win through mill. Like you're right, it's an ebb and flow. You have to know.
Yep. Those are the most high risk, high reward decks to play. You know.
No, 100%. Carl, what were you gonna say there?
Man, doesn't matter.
Your cock's itchy. Yeah, I get it.
know.
But any final unban cards that we'd like before we close out here? I think we hit on some good cards there, because except for Soul Striker and Violent Predator, but we can't all be perfect. I'm trying to think of anything else on the ban list. Child's Wish is a big one. That is a big one. That would be just nice to open up more goofy shit.
Gogeta 7, bring it back. Who cares?
I don't think Child's Wish
Gonna trigger Frank Miller
in and of itself. I do think at the very most they need to revamp the Wish decks, bring them back, and make them relevant beyond, like, I don't know. They're the closest one to be just to being almost relevant is the yellow Goku Black, and I don't know if any of this stuff that came in the Ultimate deck, if that's going to be helpful or not.
It's gonna be the other way. They're gonna add the shit
Haven't looked
into the
at it.
Ultimate deck.
Yeah, Wish was literally the most fun archetype, but literally it's like Pandora's box. People always find that crack stuff to play, man. When you got
There's-
Wish,
there- There's too many good cards out there.
yeah,
True.
especially as you found out. Like, I mean, they're not gonna be able to do the objection ramp anymore, but Wish was always just busted because you could play any color. You know what I'm saying?
Marvelous Might should be coming back.
The
Mm.
want your
Marvelous
barrier.
Might.
Oh, the black Gogeta card. Yeah, bring it back. Yeah, you know what? That should be unbanned.
Yeah, honestly, I think the meta's good enough now that we're wiping the field anyways every turn.
bring it
Like,
back.
I think that card would be fine.
Yeah.
It at least would give Black some like answers.
I'll be honest though, with Garlic Jr., like people already know, like you can on turn 1 with the high roll, you can thin the deck out by 15, which is insane. By the way, you can literally thin your deck out by 15. But I've already personally found some like really cool broken stuff you can do with it. It's my own secret spice, so I'm not gonna share here. Suck it. But even that, you already have some broken shit you can do. So that's all I'm gonna say for that.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited for the new set. I hope the ban list, does something to shake some stuff up so we can actually see these new decks be played. Because I'm really interested in both Garlic Jr., Polku, obviously Gohan, like most of the decks, but the Polku especially, like just
I already made
having
a list for
weird.
that. I can send you it.
Sounds good. Sounds like I'm gonna be
All
eating
right.
up these lists.
But
Here's
how
I
we can
want to throw
talk
this
to-
one out because it needs to be done. It needs to be said.
Let's hear it.
Majin Buu to Unison needs to be unlimited and errated so that Bojack has something to play.
Yes, please. I want to play Bojack
Like,
again.
Bojack, every time Bojack's like almost playable, almost like it's competitive. It's 1.5 high 2-ish. They're like some other they're like, get rid of this other card from this other deck, and Bojack's like, oh, I'm tier 7 again.
You
Bro,
know
I
what?
literally came third, and like what, 3 weeks later they fucking hit that card, bro. Like, come on.
The Violent Rush Bojack, if we can get that eroded to Bojack. That's one that, you know what, maybe you can wake the deck back up. But yeah,
Or-
we need a 4-cost Unison, and Boo should be the one, but there should be something that's just specifically for Bojack. So it's not abused by these other blue decks.
And with the new cards that are coming out, give me back the Gohan reboot. Give it to me, the leader. But you
Yeah,
can take
so-
away Feet Kamehameha. Take away Feet Kamehameha, ban that card, and then give me back Father Son Kamehameha, Goku and Gohan return.
Since
pretty
we're on
major.
that route too, I still want to put it out there that we need a yellow-blue Bardock leader
Yes.
again.
Z leader for the
please.
blue Bardock right there. Counts as
That would
yellow.
be sick.
Ooh,
That would be sick.
no,
That would
or
be sick.
yeah, you imagine if it just like, what if we get like Surge Z Awaken?
True.
They're already
They've
touching.
tried to
They're already
full surge
touching.
so bad.
They're already touching more
Jesus.
multicolor stuff from this last set.
You tap two you have to tap one multicolor energy like blue yellow, and then Z stacks a blue and a yellow card underneath it.
Oh,
And it can
that's
go
fucking
and it can be played
saucy.
on a blue or yellow Bardock. So you can choose which leader you want to put the Z leader with.
Carl's
shit
literally
cray.
about to splash on the floor right now. He's
That shit
so
cray.
excited.
That shit cray.
That would
Yeah,
be
I think
nuts.
Z leaders are literally the best answer to like bring back old archetypes. If we, I mean, Vegito, 2 cards brought back a whole deck. So I mean, Z's like the best.
It is, yeah, absolutely.
It's the new reboot. That's what it is. Instead of rebooting an entire card, now you just throw in a fucking Z leader and you're just like, here you go.
That shit cray.
My take is that like one thing that I would find really sick is that like stop for 2, okay, not 3 sets, 2 sets. Don't create new leaders. Stop fucking printing skillless dumb cards that we don't need. Just build legacy support for everything else.
Or similar to
Battle
that,
Leap.
just give us 1 leader per set, and that way you can do like if this set was Gohan, you could just do all Gohan support, and then half of it could support last set's green, and then next set do Cell, support Cell, and then support Gohan more, so that each set like half of it is a new archetype, and the other half supports something or both from the last set in that color.
I don't know. I feel like I get bored so quick only having 1 leader. It feels like I'm buying a starter deck with the whole booster box.
But one leader each color is what you mean, right? Or
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what I mean. 1 of each color. Yes.
Yeah, that honestly is not a bad idea because of that, where there's so many just dead cards where it's just filling space, and where you can kind of focus onto a leader for each color, and then you got at least 5 leaders and probably still a pre-release leader, and then you can fix older decks that, hey, if there's an errata hit or something, here's a card that, you know, is a toned down version of that.
We're getting almost like 2 skillless for each color. Each set.
Stupid.
It's stupid.
Battle
Yeah,
Evolution was kind of like that, right? How
Battle
many
Leap was cracked.
we
I
got?
don't think there's a single card game though that doesn't have like fluff cards. You know, they
Yeah.
gotta make boxes and they gotta fill it up with something.
But here's the thing: is they don't have to have, like, that's just my thing, is they don't have to have fluff cards. Like, I get it, like, because not everybody is going to play everything. So if everything is good, if you take, like, let's just use red for this set. Let's say they took and did just the Garlic Jr. and they took half of red, which is roughly 8 to 10 cards. That would then leave them 8 to 10 cards where they could put 2 to 3 on the last, like, every red leader from Zenkai except for SS4 and Sin. You know what I'm saying? And they could focus on that, and then nothing in there is fluff. Like, it's all just stuff to help the other stuff. And then the next set you bring in Power Pole or whatever.
Battle Evolution
I
Part
think
2.
I hate fluff in card games. That's what I'm trying to say. I hate when things are just fluff.
But they always do it. Every card game does, unfortunately. But like, you're right. I do feel we need more Battle Evo. They need to doing a Battle Evo too, bro. That would be great.
It was great. It made a crack deck out of it with all that Android 18 support and stuff, and then it even gave love to like Boo. I know it didn't go anywhere, but that
It was good though.
It was good. And for players that are newer to the game, I know Mythic Booster was nice for players, not nice for shops, but even like you got reprints in Battle Evolution, that's your fluff cards, is old staples like Senzu Beans and stuff where these people didn't have it at the time where they got into the game new, and there you go.
And those draft boxes and the anniversary that they fucked up, the last one they fucked it up. I think
Actually,
go ahead.
Oh, I think he cut out.
Sorry, I ripped my mic out. He got me so excited. That's what we need to fix in this game. We need a legit draft format. Like, we haven't had draft in, like, I'll tell you this. The dumbest thing in Dragon Ball Super, the absolute dumbest thing in Dragon Ball Super right now, is sealed pre-releases. It is when everything is color and leader locked, and I get 6 packs and 4 cards work with the 1 leader I pull. Dumbest setup ever. And legitimately, pre-releases are the best time to do a draft.
Sure.
But we don't have anything intentional for drafts either. But that's what I want unbanned. I want it was pseudo banned because whatever. I want drafts back.
I get you. Like leader locking to character, I think is stupid. Like it's my grain of salt. I know I've been arguing with some people online for that, but like those the shroom and the salsa that just came back from just came out in the black reveal and everything, they're locked to Mishikabura, which is like there's no fucking reason. Like the old Demon Clam and Dilram Ren race is fucked up all over back to front because of limiting to characters. Like the Deborah deck is not playable because of leader locking some of those cards. All the swap cards from the black the same archetype are just stupid because they're locked to that shit bad leader. And those two, yet again, those two Salsa and the Shroom should have been playable in any kind of
Just
like
Demon Realm.
Demon Realm deck, not two characters. Like those two cards in the Shroom and Salsa with the Zibalo card and everything, which you can combo from the warp, would have been insane and perfect for those decks. And like if you put the permanent that Salsa has on himself and Shroom doesn't on both of them, and just remove the Mishikabura, there would be like the deck would have been more enjoyable to play, and it would stand a chance like to do something.
No, that's true.
I mean, I agree. I feel like they leader lock too much sometimes, but I don't know. Maybe it's like from our perspective, we might not see it because there must be something that's like it would be like a busted chain because they like future proof, and then they like I don't. They must have seen some type of combo where it would have been too busted. Maybe I don't know, or maybe they're just playing it safe.
Man,
You know?
I like for real. I think they didn't. They're testing shit with all
They
those
did, yeah.
erratas. With all those erratas coming up, like the wording is wrong everywhere. They're not
I
testing
don't
shit.
that's not a testing issue. That's a quality control on translation issue. I think that's all that is. I don't
Well,
think
it's just like the way I see it is that if your end product is not even written wrong, right, you're not testing shit. Because if you would have been testing shit, we would have seen this before printing the stuff.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's not as bad as Yu-Gi-Oh with the like. I don't even know. Does DBS do too many emergency bans? Yu-Gi-Oh, oh my god, bro! People be
I think
like
the only-
spending so much money and then literally randomly emergency ban.
I think
All
the
in
only
one.
emergency ban we had to deal with was the black stuff with the Universe 3.
That,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the Church
I
of
remember
Frank.
that.
Yes. Church of
What?
Frank.
What's the Church of Frank? Oh,
The
the
free
Him
zone.
getting
Yes.
18 mil banned.
yeah, that's funny.
It was his goal. He kept talking about it on the team talk. He's just like, I want to get this stupid deck banned, and he did it. So
Hey, you're gonna mill 56 cards right now.
Motherfucker.
How many tokens you got? 20? Top 4?
yeah.
Any response? No. Play? Swing? Any response? No. How many cards? 25 on
No,
board?
you're forgetting.
Bill 50.
You're forgetting.
Peekaboo! Your deck is gone.
5 markers on the unison, -5. Now you got a response. Oh, I got a baby ape. You got another response. I got another baby ape. We could do this all day.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, true.
That
True.
was
True.
Man,
I play with somebody.
Man, I have PTSD from that game. You can see that on the fight night. You
Yeah,
can see get myself fucked by Poe.
yeah. That's those triple
But
baby
on a
apes.
little different note, what do you guys think the God Rare is going to be? Any Mecha Kabora fans? Mecha Kabora God Rare, baby.
Paul's hoping that it is, but he knows that he'll probably never pull it.
If it's Meki Kabora, it'll save me a bunch of money.
Nah, man. Seriously, like it gotta be Shenron. There's no reason.
No, it won't be Shenron.
It could
Bandai knows that there's a massive, massive fuck up on their end if they don't make it go on.
It's it's whatever the next SCR is gonna be.
Dude, I'm honestly still low-key heated that they gave Bardock a God Rare before Goku.
What if?
He don't deserve one. He's daddy. Bardock's fucking Goku's daddy, dude. Goku deserved no damn fucking God Rare. He's main
Goku.
character.
That's why he's the main character. How he
He
not gonna
don't
have a God Rare?
deserve one. Goku don't exist without fucking Bardock.
Well, by that argument, then this one should be
inside
A.
of a sock.
Bardock came before Goku.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Just putting
guess,
out there.
bro. The boy Goku got to get his shine. He got to get his
What
time
if-
in the light.
What if the god rare is Cell absorbing Gohan? Like that's a secret rare.
I would
you-
cry.
Cell absorbing
Abs-
Krillin from Budokai 1. No,
Yo,
that's a secret rare
yes.
right there.
That would be
What?
dope.
What about Boo absorbing Broly?
Then we have too many Boo secret rare. We also have too many Cell secret rares.
I think they're gonna kind of take like a note on what they did for the I think what is it called? You Are Number One with from the collector's edition. How it has like Goku in like the background, but they're gonna like kind of like that type of design for the God Rare, but with like Gohan and Goku.
Mm.
Like the whole father son, kind of like how the SPR is a little bit, but like more like forward background type thing of like the father son Kamea type shit.
I think
Father
it has.
Son's so
I don't think.
iconic.
I think with the art that's on the SPR and the fact that we've got those father son Kameas, I don't think that's actually going to be. And throwing this out, I would say it's a 99.9% chance not going to be a father son Kamehameha, because in next set we've already seen the previews that we're getting Z extra cards and they're going to be attack rares, and they've said the green one is father son Kamehameha. So because of that, I don't think this is going to be that. I think this is going to be a childhood, a Son Gohan childhood, because we literally got 2 for this set that can attack in this deck, and it's going to be something with that where we can actually utilize him.
God Rare Power Pole.
Now we're talking.
That'd
Bro,
be
if they
awesome.
give us another Gohan that attacks and burns a life, I'm gonna cry. Making excitement.
Carl,
Yeah.
it's
Sorry.
been a while. Let's hear an outro for this. I need to hear from your beautiful lips.
And stay super, everybody.
Beautiful. That's all. That's all I needed.
Oh yeah. See you next time on Dragon Ball Z.